Hey guys, so I'm really excited about this one. Really quick before we get started, I just want to say if you are coming to my channel from Joy over at A Journey in Light, I appreciate you so much. I love Joy. She's been like a kind of like a mentor to me in a way, and I don't know that she's really quite aware of that, but she has. And anyway, she's just such a sweet soul, and I appreciate her so much. And it couldn't have came at a better time. I feel like she's kind of like my soul sister, and she just knew when I needed something, and she just gave me such a sweet shout out. So I appreciate all you guys if you are here from her channel, and I appreciate Joy. So that being said, now I have 3 piles to choose from. This is going to pertain to whatever message Spirit wants to bring. This one's been laying on me. I just did 2 major love readings, I feel like. And I noticed that there was a lot of cycles that were being completed, a lot of closing outs. So I wanted to kind of put this out there as more of a healing message. So this is going to be like a healing message from Spirit. And I wanted to give options. So we have 3 piles to choose from. The first pile here is the Modern Witch Tarot. Pile 2 is the Fairytale Tarot. And then pile 3 is the Penelope Tarot. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Timestamps are down below, and I'll see you at your pile. Hey, pile 1. Okay, guys. So if y'all chose the Modern Witch Tarot, this is going to be your reading. Okay, so I have some new oracles that I'm going to use. I've only used these a couple times and a reading, so I'm excited to kind of use them for this healing message. These are the Mystical Journey oracles. And then I also have some of the Energy and Spirit. We'll take that one. It just desperately wanted to come out there. It says New Dawn, number 3. What else? We also have, wow, number 35, Taking Back Your Power. In the Afterlife, number 20. This is like a judgment. This is like judgment in tarot. The Afterlife, number 20. Okay. Authenticity. Bottom of the deck energy. And that's what this is all about. You're reflecting on things, on your growth, on your experiences. There's a wind of change that's taking place here with you. This is the number 13, which is Death in Tarot. So this is this new beginning for yourself. This is the starting of a new cycle. This is what they're wanting to kind of talk about and address here. You've really taken your power back when it comes to your emotional state. If not yet, you definitely are starting to do that. You have new beginnings, the bottom of the deck, number 21, which is the World in Tarot. So you're going here from death to, well, you're going from judgment to death to the world. I mean, literally death in the world is like a closing of a cycle, and that transformation kind of takes place. It starts, which is the new dawn here, and new beginnings start to happen. You close out a cycle, and then you start a new one, and you're there. And it's based off of this judgment that you've placed is what's kicked this off, awakening you to this. And it's a judgment about taking your power back. It's like the dawn of a new day. Now, this is the number 3, which is Empress in Tarot, which is also that dawn kind of new day kind of energy. So what we're looking at here is judgment, the Empress, the world, and death. So sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. My son came in and I had to talk to him. So let me try to get back into this energy here. There's a lot of like this sacral chakra kind of stuff that's kind of taking place here with you. This change or perception of how you're kind of seeing yourself and how you can take your own power back, especially pertaining to the emotions. And there's so much growth with this Empress kind of energy that's here. This new start with kind of, and it looks like the 4 of Wands, these trees, the way they're set up. which is the number 4 if you add it together as well. So it's almost like the way that you're seeing this union, this is like union within yourself. Okay, so that you are having this kind of this union within yourself, and it's almost like you're kind of taking your power back, and you're recognizing your own inner strength and your own inner value here. You're thinking about how strong you've become since this past energy, and you're placing that judgment on yourself, but it's in higher judgment. You're seeing yourself in a higher view, which is where this authenticity is coming into play as well. The insecurities maybe that you have felt in the past are no longer a part of your experience. Tell me one. Sanctuary, number 26. Which is, okay, they're trying to retract me here because I forgot to say something that's here. Taking your power back. This is actually the number 8. And that is strength with 35, together. 3 is that growth that's taking place, and 5 is the change. Because you've grown, you've changed. And that's where this strength is kind of coming from that you feel within you. You have your own sanctuary here now. You have found sanctuary in self. This authenticity of what's really happening and who you really are. Okay, so let's get a few of these next ones here. So from here on out, I think I'm going to really we'll see what comes up next with these oracles, but I may refer to this reading as you what is going to happen, transpire moving forward from this cycle, this new beginning. What is the cycle about that you're fixing to experience? What's going to kind of go through on that cycle that you can kind of prepare yourself for moving forward? Okay, so these are the energy and spirit oracles. Let's see what spirit has for you in this one. I love these oracles. They're new. I just got them and they're so pretty. Okay. What do you have for pile 1 here, spirit, about this? Oh, look at that. Number 13 again. That confusion. Again, you have 13 here. It's that death and rebirth. It's that new beginning that's taking place and how you're going to grow from here moving forward and how to more stabilize this new beginning within yourself. You're going to go through a period of being a little confused about which kind of direction to take now moving forward. You have this, perhaps this way, maybe that way. The past is here, the known is here, but the unknown is this direction, and what is the future? Many choices and uncertainty that's taking place here with you. So you're not exactly in a position to where you can fully go on that journey like the Hermit energy, that 9 energy, that going on your own as far as your healing goes and independently being able to look at which direction you should take. You still have a little bit of confusion about everything and how everything's unfolding and why everything is unfolding in the way that it is. And grounding that is what's going to be able to help you to kind of get past this confusion and kind of move forward. This is the next kind of stage that you're going to be going through here. You've took you're in this process of taking your power back currently, I feel, and what that feels like and what that means for you. Thought vibrations, number 23. Again, you have a card here of choices. Resonant choices, signature signals. It's almost like you're connecting with your higher self and what is like kind of the best direction for you to take. And you are on a more spiritual level here with thought vibrations. It's like because of this awakening that's happening within, it's causing this vibrational energy within for you to be able to recognize that you have these choices here and how these choices have kind of led you up until this point. And you're getting all these kind of new signals about your authenticity and who you are and what you want to achieve and what your goals really are for here moving forward. There's a tremendous amount of like growth that's kind of radiating from this reading right now, guys. This is like you in your complete sense of changing the dynamics of who you are as a person, your characters, everything's starting to change. And it's all coming from your mental space. How you've kind of improved your mental capacity, you know, of being able to accept situations and learn from situations and grow from situations to better evolve yourself moving forward. Because we don't let necessarily the most negative things happen to us or put ourselves in negative positions if we feel as if we have matured to a certain extent, you know, because we start to, what it is really with the healing and finding the authentic you, that relationship that you have with your inner self, you look at that in a way of, what am I doing to myself in this situation? What does this feel like for me in this situation? Do I want to do that to myself? Do I want to break my own heart? Do I want to put myself in a position where I'm putting myself on a platter? Is it worth it? What have I learned here from my past to make me feel like this is the direction that I want to take? Do I want to repeat the same thing? You know, this could have been a cycle that you've repeated in the past. And it's never really quite fit in your favor. Look at that. Ascended masters, devoted spirits with specific intentions. You have, I feel like, a higher purpose. Again, you have this number 4 that's here. Over here you have 5, but it's 2, 3. You know, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, guys. The next number is 5, which is that number of change that this whole reading is about. This is telling me not only are you kind of protected in this cycle moving forward, in the journey that you've kind of been on to get to this point within yourself, you have these devoted spirits that are around you, that are connecting with you, these ascended masters, higher masters that are kind of connecting with you here, that are giving you specific, doing things, or the way things flow are for specific intentions. And that's hard to say, guys. Sorry, I had trouble with that one. They're all around you, and there's a certain kind of peace that kind of comes from that. Recognizing that and feeling like they're around you in that kind of way. It makes, this is where the warmth comes from. This is where the love that you feel comes from. It comes from that inner peace, or that knowing that if I'm going to put myself on a platter, I'm going to put myself on a platter with spirit. So whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm thinking, all this stuff has reasoning and purpose behind it. There's intentions to all those things that are kind of going on with you. And being in a place to where you can recognize that and judge that is what's pushing you into this new vibration of authenticity. Recognizing your own inner sanctuary, that peace. And I think you're ascending here within that. And this is a huge, significant change of how you're seeing yourself. Okay. So let's kind of get a better look at like more of the nitty gritty part of this. So we're going to get tarot for that, because tarot's honest. Tarot doesn't have feelings. They're going to be completely honest about whatever it is. You have the High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune here. So unknowns to you, you may actually be developing something here that's going to cause you to have this good fortune, this turnaround here in your life, because of this feeling that you're feeling, this understanding that you now have about yourself, and this understanding that you have more knowledge, inner knowledge and knowing than you've had before in the past. And that could lead you to a really awesome place for yourself, a really fortunate place within. You know, if you have the key to fulfill opportunities for yourself within, and you kind of figure that out, Ascended Master, you're gonna take that direction. Think about all of the Ascended Masters before us and what they did and what they acknowledged. They acknowledged their own inner peace. You know, Jesus Christ himself, if you believe in that, acknowledges his own inner peace of knowing. And this is the ascendedness that you're getting into. And this is the whole higher perspective here, satellite view of this growth that's taking place within you. I don't know that if all of you are fully seeing it on that kind of level, but that's what it is. Okay, so, oh my gosh, look at that. The Magician came out in reverse with the Sun in reverse because you're not, okay, so here's the nitty gritty part. Here comes the mama out in me. Get ready. You're not paying even though you've reached this change in this point, and this is why this reading's coming out, you're not paying fully attention to your own tools. You're not using the tools that you have now at this point. You recognize it. You see it. You know it's there. But the High Priestess keeps all that to themselves, you know. You're not using what you have and your full potential. That's something that they're wanting you to address, because if you kind of let that go in a certain extent, when you could be playing out this manifestation of whatever it is that you want, and you're high energy for that right now, by the way, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to gain what you're looking for here. And there's a special message here that this is probably what this tarot is going to tell us. Okay, so tell me more about this. I love going back and listening to these readings because I have no idea what I'm saying. No idea what I'm saying. Okay, so there we go. Queen of Pentacles. So it's Taurus energy here. That is the Empress. Taurus energy. This has to do, I feel like, with love. We have Venus here with Taurus energy. Love and relationships and how you're seeing things. That brings me back to taking your power back from that emotional part of it. Has to do with love. The world. There's that. I felt it. That's why I was like, I feel something. This is that closing of that cycle that's taking place here, moving forward. And grounding that into reality, which is what we kind of started here. Okay, so there's that Tower in reverse, which is the change, and there's the Page of Wands. This change comes about with inspiration. This change is actually bringing so much inspiration towards your life in general. Because once you can contain Ascended Master energy, once you can contain and take your power back from your own emotional state, it puts you on a whole nother level of being able to fulfill what you feel inspired to do, because your emotions are in balance with themselves. It's an element there that you don't have to worry about when you go into making decisions for yourself. When you feel like you have this inspiration that's laying onto you, this purpose to kind of fulfill or do something. So you use like all this like energy of this Page of Wands. This is the most youthful kind of inspirational energy as well. Even though the King of Wands is someone that can really use their power over, be driven in what goal it is that they want to accomplish. The Page of Wands is that youthful sparker idea. It's where the idea starts, and it's where the excitement kind of starts. And that's here when it comes to this change. That energy is there for you, but they're wanting you to use it. They're saying that energy, use this energy of this Tower. This is explosive energy here. Use this energy with this inspiration that you feel towards your goals, towards your purpose, and what it is that you want to do moving forward. Because it's almost like a boost onto this next cycle, you know, so that you can kind of get even more evolved with your emotions and how you kind of use them for your benefit to propel yourself forward in your life in general. Yeah. They're really wanting you to address this really bad. We got it. Judgment. Okay, so there's judgment. We have judgment in the world. Those are two that are called. So they're bringing them out. Of course, we're not done with clarifiers, but they're bringing them out again. They want you to pay attention to that being part of this growth that you've already experienced and went through. And you should be able to recognize this within yourself, guys. That's what they're saying. They're saying you've judged yourself on a whole nother level to get yourself to where you are at this point. Judge yourself in this perspective of knowing that you have the tools, but you're just not playing those out. You're not manipulating that energy to your benefit. This is what they're saying here. Pay attention, pay attention. If you can do it here to find your authenticity, you can do it here to use it now. Okay, so why is this Ace of Pentacles here? The Chariot in reverse. I mean, I feel like they keep kind of repeating the same message to you over and over about, hey, pay attention. Get in your chariot. Take off. You're Queen of Pentacles. Get off your chair for a minute so that you can kind of, I told you the mama was going to come out, so that you can kind of look and acknowledge the fact that you have this change that's taking place here. You can turn this around. This doesn't have to be a broken down tower. You can look at this thing as a huge benefit if you look at it within yourself and finally kind of close this cycle out. But you have to get in that chariot and want to have that positive direction forward. So if you're in a place to where you're in this confusion and uncertainty about which direction to take, and you're not listening to this thought vibration, you know, the signature signals, everybody's over there in the spirit world going, over here, you know, like, look, over here, we're telling you which direction to take for this change. Make the decision to grow, you know, in that extent, and don't stay behind. You just have to move. But there's also a message here that, you know, if you would ground yourself in your own abilities, that you have everything that you need to be able to close this cycle out, then you would be able to kind of get in that chariot and go. Don't focus on what it is that you don't have or you didn't gain or how it didn't work or you know, whatever that is. Focus on the authenticity of the reality and the growth that you've experienced and the ability to do that and how that can propel you forward in general. Who's to say that this underlining energy of how this all kind of transpired is not something that you can go back to in the future, where you're more evolved and more capable of taking things on? Because sometimes when that happens, we look back. I mean, I hope, because that's growth. To look back at your past experiences and to see them in a completely different way is growth. And you may look back at this and see this in a different way that's going to help you to be able to process things moving forward. That's the whole purpose. There's the Queen of Wands. Yep. There's that fire energy. They're saying here, if you are this Empress kind of energy of wanting to burst something new into life, having this new growth that's taking place within you, then be in this energy here. Don't be in the emotions or the swords. The cups or the swords. They're showing you here the pentacles and the wands. Ground this fire, positive, courageous, confidence confidence within yourself that's there. That's what the whole cycle was about to begin with. So use what you've learned is for you to have this confidence within yourself to complete goals and finish cycles moving forward. This is what the whole cycle was about that you went through. And they're just saying, just use it. So what's the Magician here in reverse? I'm sorry if it's coming out a little sassy, guys. Heavy feminine energy, spirit-wise, coming through. So, Magician and the Star, this is a very obviously clear message that they're saying here, is that use the tools that you've gained with the experiences that you've learned about your own inner strength and courage and confidence to manifest your wish come true here. It's right here. Look at this page, is a page of wands. This inspiration here is looking at this magician like, I can't be that magician. I'm only a messenger. No, you can, is what they're saying. You can, but you're not acknowledging it. It's upside down to you. You need to see this as a, change your perspective of how you're seeing yourself so that you can fulfill this wish. Future energy here with the Star. Aquarius energy here. It's, let's just get the next one out and we'll go off on that. Well, double Scorpio, we have the world, which is that transformation that's taking place. We have the World. We have Cancer, Leo, Sagittarius for me. Let's see. Six of Cups. Absolutely. Queen of Cups in reverse. Staying out of that energy. I have three queens out now. But notice this is in reverse. Because of what? Because of this. Because of this painful ending that took place here. And having this love for yourself. This is someone that's saying, I'm not going to do that to myself. No way. I'm holding my cup of love to myself here. There's no way I'm getting these 10 swords in my back again. Nope. Not doing that. I'm putting my guard up here. I'm holding on to my pentacles. Nobody's getting through here, you know? And that burden is what you think about. That burden of that lesson with that Hierophant. Man, that was a hard lesson, wasn't it? Such a hard lesson, such a hard experience to go through. Do I really want to do that again to myself? And you're staying out of this emotional state. You're taking your power back when it comes to that emotional state and the closing out of this cycle and what you've learned here. And, you know, I saw the Four of Wands in reverse, which is kind of having that disharmony in your life. So some of you may be kind of more focused on that sense to it, that disharmony that you feel because of all this. And you're not so much focused on the journey itself and where you are and how far you've come. And that's why you're not in your chariot. If you could just get in your chariot, you could fulfill yourself here. This Judgment with the Six of Cups is saying that you've learned this lesson. You know, you need to look at yourself now, like we said, like you did before, and judge yourself and how you're kind of, the way that you're addressing the Six of Cups, the way you're looking at the Six of Cups, the way you're addressing the Six of Cups. Six of Cups, please. Which is soulmate energy, but also the past. Look at there. There's your King of Wands. There's Queen of Wands, King of Wands. This was a counterpart. And the Nine of Wands, which is that energy of giving up in reverse. Too overwhelming. You've given up on someone here from your past, but it's a soulmate energy here. Yeah, Six of Wands in reverse. That wasn't a successful story, was it? Look at there. Counterpart. King of Pentacles in reverse. So we got double counterparts out here. It's definitely a soul level connection with the Seven of Swords that's underneath that and the Six of Swords and the Ace of Wands in reverse. You've gotten to a calmer place here, I feel like, with the deception that has taken place in this connection in the way that you see this King of Pentacles in the reverse. Capricorn energy here. This is someone that you're looking at as someone that's not stable, or that is maybe not honest, not capable of giving you what it is that you deserve. That's the way you're looking at this. And the Six of Wands in reverse is saying that, you know, you weren't successful like you wanted to be in that connection or in that relationship. Your counterpart over here was kind of looking at things in a different direction. With that King of Wands. King of Wands is this very self-focused energies in reverse. He's someone that kind of strives forward, well, really upright kind of, but more in an arrogant way whenever it's in reverse. Like he's going for what it is that he wants, and he kind of doesn't care about who's around. And this is something that you're saying, you know what? That's too much for me. I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. That's just too much for me. I can't do that to myself. So you've placed that judgment on yourself, but you need to maintain it. You may be kind of a little bit nostalgic about this person. But what they're asking you to do is kind of not be in that energy so much to the point to where it's leaving you confused. They're wanting you again, over and over and over, in every cycle from here on out, to always remember to take your power back. And I think you're really struggling with that right now, because I think that the nostalgia, the energy of the love and the connection itself, or what you felt here with this person, is something that is hard for you to let go of, which is wanting you. It's that energy that's asking you to be nostalgic. But you know it's not the right place for you to be. You know you don't need to be in that space. Okay. Let's get some message cards. I'm seeing self-care. So focusing on yourself here and your own priorities will help you to kind of move forward here with this. Advice, please, for pile 1, Spirit. Healing. Old wounds and childhood issues need revisiting. That's another thing that's here, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to address this, and they reminded me. There's a father wound that's coming up for you here for some of you. There's a father wound that's taking place here, that's coming up to be addressed, and I know that you know it. I know you feel it, and there's a nostalgia energy that has to do with that, that's coming to the surface. Some of you may have actually, hold on, I'm going to focus on this for just a second because this is important. Some of you may have actually had a father here in your life that has been a very dominant individual, more of an aggressive kind of nature. And that was something that you couldn't protect yourself from, in a sense. And this person here and this ending in this connection is kind of reverting you back to this healing space that you need to revisit and call judgment on that again. There's things there that you kind of need to revisit, reheal, focus on, because you've reached this higher perspective and gained your power back in the way that you have with this person. It's helping you to be able to be triggered into this healing here from your past that you need to address. And it's a father wound. That protective energy, that masculine energy in your life, whether it was there or not, whatever that was. And for some of you, this was an aggressive kind of energy. Not being able to protect yourself in that situation is something that you need to go back and readdress. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's keep going. That one was a heavy load over there. I might get a special message card. I'm gonna do that now so I don't forget. For that, guys, I'm going to use the Wild Offering Oracles. Okay, what message? Oh, there's one that's not supposed to be in here. There's a few that's not, well, I'm just going to leave them. What message do you have for that specifically, please, Spirit? This judgment down here with the Six of Wands is healing. What message do you have for that, for this person, for the viewer? What message is there for that? Okay, relationship and intention and love. There's this wound here. It's causing you to address this relationship like you had with this person and the intentions behind this person's love in this relationship. What are the intentions behind it? It's causing you to have to look at also this connection here with this more of a father kind of figure. It's coming, all this stuff's coming to the surface. I don't know if this person has reminded you of that in your past, reminded you of your father in some sense, and it has something to do with this protective state. And the intention behind love and what that kind of means for you in relationships. It's a lot to do with control. If you've had a controlling father or some higher authority figure around you in a way of where you couldn't protect yourself. And this is being addressed. You have the moth here all over the intention card. The intentions of this love that you felt in this relationship with this person is for you to address those triggers and use that as that inspiring kind of energy that you're feeling as well to complete another healing cycle for yourself. This is going to keep you to keep pursuing forward. I'm going to read these real quick. It's love is not about finding love. You are love itself. Help me, Lord, to send so much compassion and caring to the inner child that I always remember I myself am love. So that remembrance is there with that Six of Cups, and remembering what, if you were experiencing that as a child and you could relive that experience now, what would it be that you would do for yourself that you felt you couldn't do for yourself then? You know, going back through that whole experience, and you're going to be able to see things are going to come up for healing in different ways because you've transcended into this new understanding. So that needs to be addressed. We have intention. Intention is simply allowing the will and the mind to align and move in harmony. Yep. May I always focus on the highest. My intention is that all God's wishes for me come true. And that's the star here, but you're not looking at it, you know. Setting yourself in that place where you have that alignment and harmony within is going to help you to be able to move forward for your highest good no matter what. It's going to help you to be able to push forward with your star, you know, your wish fulfillment here, especially with relationships. I call in the infinite power of love to take over this union in every way. Absolutely. May it now fully belong to the divine. Let it unfold in perfect way for each of us. I needn't fear letting go of control. My needs are always abundantly met. You're hitting this line here where you're questioning if you should release this, if you should let go of the control of this. And they're reminding you here to keep the faith in yourself and this person and this experience and what it will lead to. Revert back to your own sanctuary here and the strength of your own inner sanctuary. And look under that as growth and inspiration with the number 5. How awesome is that? Okay, let me get a few more of these and then we'll get a postcard from Spirit and close, okay? What else? Anything else here, Spirit? We have regrets. You need to release some regrets for the way someone has treated you here. They do feel remorseful for the way that that's kind of played out. And I think that you're aware of that. And I think that you just need to accept that as a reality so that you can push forward. Sometimes we have to accept the only actions and emotions that we feel and the only actions that that person's kind of showing us. Sometimes we have to accept that reality, ground that reality so that we can push ourselves forward to a more positive direction. And this is where you're sitting at right now. Marriage. Union. Have that union here. Allowing yourself not to have any regrets when it comes to this union here with this person, but to be able to kind of push forward regardless. Allowing yourself, like this card says, to Let love take over the union in every way. Infinite power of love. Whatever is meant to happen for you in this relationship and for it to unfold, and completely surrendering yourself and letting go of that to Spirit or to God or to whoever it is for you, whoever has that higher power control for you in the universe to be able to have things play out the way that they are meant to play out for you, and knowing that whatever's for your highest good is the way that it's going to play out, is faith. I guess I'm going to take that top one. I don't want to take these even though they failed. I'm not going to take them. I'm just going to take this one here. I don't know if I've seen this one. You are magic. It's another reminder right before this reading's over. They wanted to go ahead and tell you one more time. You are a magician. You do have the power here. Take your power back. Continue on that journey forward. Okay, guys? Wow. Okay. Dearest you, we know everything in the universe is perfect, even in its flaws, and we view the creations of Spirit in total awe. All is unique, yet part of a unique unity of existence. But the human experience is a little different from ours. You tend to have a specific standard for what you consider ideal, and this isn't serving you right now. So forget your idea of perfection and see through our eyes, allowing things to be as they are without judgment. Don't wait until a perfect moment or mood to start something. Instead, enter life with all its flawsomeness. It's a weird word, flawsomeness. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Let others be who they are too. Imperfect and human, complex or simple. It doesn't matter. For there is always something to discover, experience, and love. When you drop the need for an idea, you uncover the real treasure, which will be far more interesting and valuable. Loving you like crazy. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh, I love those cards so much. I know I've been saying I'm going to do a giveaway with those cards. I want to, because I just love those cards so much. I need to do that. My kids have been kind of sick back and forth since school started naturally, so I haven't had the same amount of time, but I want to do that. Y'all keep an eye out for that, because I definitely want to start giving those away. I love that, those oracles. Patience and wait. I already saw that once. Reassurance is here. Connection. You need to be reassured that this connection was purposeful, and this connection is still there. Reassure yourself that this connection is still there. That's what they're saying. And be patient with how things are going to unfold moving forward. Again, just let Spirit, lead the way here. Overwhelming. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't get in that place. You need to rest, relax, and have relief here. Doubt cancels abundance, guys. Yes. The doubt that you kind of creep into in some kind of way with regret there is going to cancel out that abundance that's sitting there for you. I'm heard. Yes, you are. I am loved. Yes, you are. And get support. If you feel as if you're kind of in a position where you're struggling in some kind of way, guys, or this issue here, this father kind of issue that's coming up for healing in that sense, if you need to go to like a therapist or something to that nature where you can express yourself to someone that has no judgment in the situation, that's always a good thing to do. Family's good too, but family has their own kind of, and friends or whoever was around at this time in your life that you need to, this inner childhood thing going on here. Family's always good, but they all have their own perception of how they've already labeled and see things. Even if that changes over time, if you're actually talking about getting support in that sense, for some of you, you may actually need to kind of go to someone that doesn't have that judgment that's in place. But for others of you, if you have someone in your life that you connect with on a very spiritual growth kind of level, in other words, a counterpart in your life where you feel as if you connect with this person. It doesn't have to be romantic. Could be a really good friend or a family member, where they just listen to you and they know how to talk to you. They know how to listen to you without being judgmental in some kind of way. So where they kind of give you ideas to spark new perspectives within you. That's someone that you need to cling on to and get support with at this time, especially when it comes to this inner childhood healing that's coming up down here. Because when you do get overwhelmed and that overwhelming feeling of that, you need to kind of help. If you need to have someone to help lead you in that right direction, that support's there for you. You need to take it. Okay, that was a mouthful. So we have C-O. These are some kind of cool letters that have come out. V-A-W. Don't cover yourself to the truth of this situation either. We also have M, or cover it up with anything else. N-O. I keep getting the image for some reason of Mrs. Doubtfire. If you've never seen that movie, do yourself a favor and go watch it. It's sad, but it's hilarious at the same time with Robin Williams. And she's running across the restaurant and she's saying, help is on the way. There's someone here, I'm telling you guys, that's around you. It could be an older feminine energy that's around you that wants to reach out and help you at this time. And it would almost like they would just come to your beck and call. They would love to be able to connect with you at this time. I don't know what is going on in their life, but it's something that they feel like connecting with you at this time is something to kind of help them as well in some sort of way. So anyway, that keeps coming to mind. That's for somebody, if you know who that is. So we have A-W, I don't know if I said B-U. Yeah, B-U. That's hilarious. We have Boo. Something could happen around Halloween that may be surprising to you. We have M, a W. We have 3 W's. Why? Stop asking yourself why things happen. Stop telling yourself negative stuff. Don't even go down that road, guys. I don't even want to go there with you because you're evolved way past that. Don't even put yourself in that place. You know exactly how to get yourself out of that. You know, it's okay. And I think that you have the ability to know like when you should be in that place and when to give yourself rest when you feel overwhelmed with that doubt. You know this, you know. You know you're heard from Spirit. You know they're listening to you and helping guide you here. We have 1, 2, 6, 8, and 9. Think about these things. What do you need to think about? New beginnings, decisions that you're making going forward for your own healing in relationships and love, making progress in the progress that you have made, and that healing that needs to be done. You have the truth of this, whatever this is, that keeps being illuminated and triggered to you here from what happened, this protective kind of masculine energy in your past. With this being the number 9, like the Hermit, you have that truth. You need to do that healing, okay? That healing's coming up. You need to address it there. Why you have this Magician energy at your back. We also have the and. So there's a side note here that there's, and I think I already mentioned this once, there's more to come with this person here in connection. You just need to have patience and wait. And it talks about it here in this card as well. They're also being triggered in a certain sense because it does talk about being patient with others and that how everybody has imperfections and we're all human, complex and or simple, you know. But acknowledging that in other people is something that's needing to be addressed with this connection. This other person's kind of experiencing some things too they're needing to kind of address. So give them some time. Be patient. I know. I know. But it will all unfold the way that it's meant to. Just keep that in mind. Okay. I'm tired. I'm tired after that. I hope that this helps you guys. No idea how long this was. Y'all know I don't time my readings. I like to, everybody's different. Everybody needs to hear different things. And so I hope that y'all got something from this reading that'll help you moving forward. Good luck to you guys. Good luck on your next healing venture and get that help when you need it. And go watch Mrs. Doubtfire. Why not? It might make you laugh at least. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for your love and your support and your kindness. If you want a personal reading from me, I'm open to that right now. It's in the description box. And that's all I have. Thanks for being here, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye. Hey, Pile 2. So if you chose the Fairytale oracles, the Fairytale Tarot, this is going to be your reading. I've actually already started y'all's pile, and then I realized that it wasn't recording, so I guess that message wasn't meant to be heard. Maybe that was a me message. It's just meant for me. Okay, so we're going to start here your reading with the Mystical Journey Oracles. This is going to pertain to healing, guys. What aspect of healing needs to be addressed at this time so that you can kind of push forward. Okay, so what is it for pile 2 here, Spirit? What do they need to be healing here for pile 2? Rising up. This is the number 11, which is Justice in Tarot. What else is it? You're being called here. Yeah. Redemption. You are definitely being called here. This is the number 27. You get one more. You're being called here to focus on your growth at this time and kind of step up more in this masculine kind of energy and focus on this growth that's taking place. You're also being called to justice. You're being called to rise up, to redeem yourself in this situation that you're currently finding yourself in. Healing hands and to heal. This is a personal thing as well. This is you coming out of the shadow and kind of coming together with someone, though. There's kind of a twist behind this message. This has to do with you and your healing, but there's a twist behind it because there's something to do with you and someone else that you need to redeem yourself with here, with healing hands and these two hands coming together. There's a sense that you need to bring things out into the open, into the light here with the redemption that's being here, and recognizing things about yourself. We also have resilience here at the bottom of the deck. Number 30. You have been on this journey for a while, but you haven't fully accepted it. There's a battle that's kind of inside of you where you feel like you have to have this kind of resilience to yourself in a certain kind of way. And there's an idea here behind that with rising up that you need to kind of acknowledge the fact of where you actually currently are, and kind of there's an owning up to that. If you want redemption here, there has to be this kind of healing, this reaching out, or this healing that kind of takes place. Now, this is the number 6, which is healing, which is the Lovers, which is cooperation with someone here, or have improvements overall. If you know, there's definitely a connection involved underlining this, but outside of that, as far as you go with just your healing in general, there has to be something here with your sacral chakra and your throat chakra, like coming together, using your words to express your wants and needs, or something that's also coming out. But it's more of a out in the open, kind of being vulnerable in that kind of state. Because if you're going through something that's healing with someone else, there's a level of vulnerability that has to play into that. Otherwise, there's no kind of give and take there with number 6. There's no kind of equal balance that comes out to play. There's a call here for you to kind of, all this energy or time that you've kind of spent alone with yourself, getting to know yourself, getting to understand yourself, has given you a overwhelming sense of pride, or overwhelming kind of sense of ego. And it's almost like you've gone too far off the balance with that, and they're wanting you to kind of come back. That they want you to step in this masculine kind of energy here, this energy of strength and energy of leadership, and showing that from whatever it was that kind of has happened to you along this journey, because there's been a lot of people that have kind of passed you by, or a lot of different faces that you've been kind of wearing. You feel as if throughout your life in general, I mean, I feel like you have wore so many different kinds of faces. And all of it, under that, all of it has to do with your pride and ego, and choices that you've made, and how you've made those choices, and where those choices first started from compared to kind of where their gut is. So, I know this sounds so weird, but it's like going through your sacral chakra to your throat chakra. It has to pass through your heart. And there's a sense here that it's been coming from the top down, more of the ego sense, out to the throat chakra as far as you speaking on things. And it's not coming from deep within. It's not coming from that deep inner knowing of what you need to be expressing or need to be owning up to, or whatever this is with redemption. It's not coming from the right direction. It's not passing through your heart system. And there's healing about that needs to be addressed. And it has to do with rising up. Being in this energy of where you always constantly feel like you have to be this soldier, or be on guard, or be this person that has to rise up from the depths of the darkness, you know. And feeling that pride from that is making you to where you're almost too prideful. So when you make decisions in general in life, and you experience this energy of having to be so strong in a situation, or having to show your strength in a situation, or wear a mask when it comes to that, even though you feel like that you aren't really in that position to be that strong, it's almost like fake it till you make it, or pretend it so other people around you will see that. There's this energy that has to do with that. When you make choices in your life in general, what happens is you're passing those choices. You're passing through those choices with that pride coming from a more of a darker place than what it needs to be. It's almost like that person that... Sorry, guys. So it's like this justice here is really heavy. But do you notice how justice is dark? You think that's kind of strange? So it's like what you feel is justified in your case. There's a darkness about it that you need. I mean, I think you're feeling and experiencing this redemption. I don't know what has happened here. Tarot is going to tell us more detail about it. And it could have to do with the connection, because that's coming up. But whatever it is, it's like this is like the outcome, what I'm kind of feeling here as far as pride goes. But it's kind of this healing that needs to take place in order for you to be able to continue to make decisions without having so much of this pridefulness, or maybe not so much pride. It is pride, but it's a guard knowing that you don't want to end back up in a place that doesn't feel good. Instead of trying to address that pain that arises, you just want to cover it up with strength. And you can't necessarily do that, because you can't be an emperor energy. You can't be a masculine kind of energy when it comes to yourself if you're consistently covering up what you know in your gut may not be exactly the best decision for yourself, with pride and ego, a pride and ego nature to it. Because actually what it's really doing is just covering up the pain that you don't want to experience, which is actually real strength. Being able to address your pain without putting a guard on and saying, I'm strong and I'll get through it, but actually facing it dead on. It's like if you were in a battle and there were two kings, and one king said, well, I have better armor than you, and put up a wall instead of just fighting the other king dead straight on. There's a certain amount of strength that goes into the healing and the healing process and how to work your way through that. And you're not looking at it in the right perception. If you could change the way that you're seeing strength and how strength is represented for you in your life in general, you'll be able to actually move forward and make better decisions for yourself moving forward. And more solid decisions for yourself as far as your foundation, your inner knowing of who you are. You know, that king walks in front of the other king to defend himself in the battle with him, knowing how strong he is, knowing his vulnerabilities, knowing his weaknesses, because he's addressed his weaknesses and he's gone through them, and they're best friends. You know, him and his weaknesses are best friends. He knows those. He doesn't have to, he's not caught off guard in any kind of way. He doesn't feel the need to lie about anything to make himself be a bigger person or look a different way. He uses his weaknesses just like he uses his strengths, but he knows them. That's how come he can do that. If you continue to put like a mask over that healing part, not wanting to address that vulnerability or that pain, then it leaves you in a vulnerable position for other people to kind of come in and tell you your story about yourself. That's not true. And I think that has something else to do with it too. Maybe a story that other people may be saying about you is something that's kind of triggering this feeling as well, or keeping you from wanting to be able to address pain. Good night. Okay, let's see. I got my head hurting. If that made sense. Let's get some, I never know what the heck I'm saying. I mean, honestly, let's get some energy and spirit oracles. That's why I love these readings. I learn so much in these readings. I go back and I listen to them and I'm like, what? Because, you know, I'm really just channeling this stuff, guys. I'm learning just like y'all are. So tell me about... So I hope that made sense. Can you tell me more about this, please, Spirit? Oh my gosh, how wild. Pile 1 got the same exact card, same exact spot. That's not a coincidence. That's a collective thing. So this is the number 13, which is death in tarot, and it talks about rebirth. It talks about there being an ending to something and having a rebirth, a renewal. So you're definitely completing a cycle. This is a brand new cycle that you're starting here as far as your healing goes, which is something that I think that you may have thought you were already kind of on the journey of the up and up about. And I think that, yeah, they're showing me this right here. It's almost like you've had to be strong and you've made your way up here, but you still have to go back down to plant your feet back on earth, you know, to plant your feet back in, to plant your feet now that you have this, all this kind of stuff that's going on, and especially pertaining to confusion. Like, I am confused. Why is it going back down again? I don't understand. Why is this thing not working out for me? Why is this happening all over again? All this stuff is triggering you guys to get you to acknowledge some healing that needs to take place here. There's another cycle that's starting. You need to pay attention to what it is that you're needing to be taught at this time, and why you need to step up. This is a cycle that may have to do with the divine feminine, guys, because you have the masculine and feminine. You have the buck and the doe that's right here on these cards on both sides of this journey, this path. This person's reflecting things to you to get you to acknowledge the part that you need to be healing here. This frustration that you're feeling right now, this energy of being kind of frustrated and having those fearful thoughts and all the other stuff, confusion, kind of everything kind of is circling around you about uncertainty, about decisions that you've made, is your trigger. Now it's time to go beneath that. You need to go beyond that, those feelings, and ask yourself why You're feeling all those different things. Where's that coming from? What's the emotion that's attached to that, all those feelings and that stuff? All that negativity is a result of something. What is it? You have to really pinpoint it down. And it all stems from hurt. It all stems from pain. What you're feeling, what you need to heal. It's coming up, triggered. It's coming up because it needs to be addressed. You may be sitting in a position right now where you're saying to yourself, I have no idea which direction I want to go or where I need to take this. Should I go to the past? Do I need to look for my mistakes there? Do I need to look and see what happened there? What about a direction of the known? What do I know for sure moving forward? What about the unknown, the uncertainties that lie with what decision I make? And how is the future of everything going to unfold? Perhaps I should go this way, or maybe I should go this way. I have no idea what I'm doing here. This is kind of this confusion that's taking place about, I mean, it's kind of like a tower moment that's happening here with you, where you're needing to rise up from that, but you're needing to rise up from it in vulnerability, not in pride or ego. You're undoubtedly a strong individual, but they're asking you to use that strength in being vulnerable in this situation so that you can better know yourself, so that you can make better decisions moving forward for yourself in your future. Yeah, look at that. Cleansing and attunement, shamanic healer. Number 17 is the star in tarot. Some of you had some kind of wish fulfillment. Ancestors is also at the bottom of the deck, and this is kind of an overall message. These are coming through, guys. The first one had ascended masters, and now you have ancestors. You have some ancestors here that are with you, speaking out to you about that have helped you kind of in this transition, closing out this cycle with this being the number 28 and making progress moving forward. Historical connections and purposes. Whoever this is in your life, it definitely has a purpose of you being able to fulfill what it is that who you are. Y'all might have some healing powers, guys. The shamanic here, good grief, I can't even say it. You have this ability to be able to see others, like very much so their higher perspective of what their future could be or could hold. And that's how you go about kind of healing. I don't know what it is that you do, or if you even do anything. A lot of you haven't even came into this yet, but it's definitely something that I think that has scared you in a way. You may look at other individuals and see things that they need to be cleansing in their life, or you can really tune into their energy and kind of see how they can kind of better their life or change their life in some sort of way. And that's part of what your purpose kind of is. And your ancestors are here kind of in this sense trying to help you to kind of find peace with yourself, and talent guides here. And let go of the urgency. They have a lot of messages here for you. This surrender, freedom, and time constraints, whatever it is that you're working on here where you feel like you need to kind of close yourself off, they're wanting you to kind of surrender to that, let go of that urgency of that success, with that being the number 19. And with this talent guides, there's spirit mentors and teachers. There's other things that are kind of around you that you need to be kind of paying attention to. And in times of peaceful pursuits and happy times. When you can find times of peace, when you can sit and find times of peace or times to rest, they're saying to tune in to talent guides, okay? Spiritual teachers, healers, anybody to this nature that's going to help you in some sort of way to develop some sort of skill that you have. And I think a lot of your skill or your mindset is to be able to direct other people and to how they can fulfill certain kind of wishes or goals or dreams that they may have. There's something to do with you having the ability to cleanse them and to realign others into achieving what dreams that they may have. Now, it's funny too, because I know some of you are probably saying, I can't even dream my own goals. What do you expect me to do it for everybody else? But the whole point of the journey itself is because you're going through this yourself, it makes you a better teacher in the end of it. Whatever it is that you're experiencing here where you feel like you're at the depths of beyond, and it's such a struggle for you, the reason that you're in that position and the reason that you're having to event yourself over and over again is because there's something here that you have this special talent to change people's beginnings and give them more of a solid foundation mentally to be able to fulfill what their goals and wishes and dreams are. So you're having to experience this yourself so that you can learn. You learn from doing, and you have to do it for you to teach it. But they're wanting you to kind of have peace in this knowing, and it may be something that's laid on you that you've already have this higher perspective of, maybe from ancestors or dreams that have kind of been leading you in this direction, or there's this feeling that you have of this knowing that there's purposes here too.
Mama.
Okay, so let's get some tarot. Sorry, I had to pause for a second. It's weird to sit back down for a minute. Kind of go lightheaded. I think I got up too fast. Okay. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on with you. A lot, apparently. There's a lot going on here. So tarot's going to kind of give us an overall look. Look at there. There's you coming out of that never-ending darkness there. That Nine of Swords in reverse. Seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, I feel like you guys do have this. I mean, I feel like you already kind of know that all this stuff is going on in the background here. But it's just the journey itself, getting to that point, you know, is that purpose. And everybody, that's what I was going to say. Everybody has a purpose to be fulfilled, whether that's a little purpose in this lifetime or a huge purpose in this lifetime. It just depends on who you are and what your purpose is. But your purpose is a little bit bigger here than what you're giving it credit for. That's why your journey is as hard as it is the way that it is. You're really having to look at yourself in a very profound way, and having to, you have these healing hands here. Yeah. With Shamanic Healer. I mean, that's no coincidence. Cleansing healing hands. And it's the foundation that's being built, just like we talked about with you being able to build other people's foundations. This is a whole nother part of your reading compared to what I'm seeing here. This is the healing part. This is like the purpose behind that. So maybe some of you wanted to know what that was. If you had a higher purpose, what would that be? So if you resonate with already feeling that way or feeling something to that nature, there you go. The Knight of Wands in reverse. If you feel like this nature of being frustrated because you feel this pent up like feeling of you needing to go and do or have this inspiration, but you just don't know where to put it. You don't know where to place it. It's because this is pretty strong here as far as a purpose in life goes, because there's a lot of people that you can affect here when it comes to that. That's why it's kind of historical connections. There's something that's historical about you and connecting with others. How you can leave other people to a better history with their life in general. You know, you're like that person that they say, you know, if I wouldn't have met so-and-so, I wouldn't have went in this positive direction towards my goal of that brought me a lot of fulfillment and joy and all this stuff. You're that kind of person. And it could be just something like a tiny meeting or something big. You know, it's like a teacher. There's always that teacher that affects us, that helps us in our life in a certain point to lead us in the right direction. And that's you, but it's a healing aspect to it. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the back of my mind because it's probably going to come out in tarot again to address this whole period that you're going through now. So bless your heart. The reason that you're kind of experiencing this in this intense way that you are is because of this purpose that you carry. But let's figure out more. Got some healers out there. Okay. Tell me more about pile 2. What does pile 2 need to know here, Spirit? 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So that's just what you probably feel like. This 10 of Pentacles in reverse is, yeah, there you go. Five of Cups in reverse. Getting over the fact that you're not in a position where you have everything that you need. Not this feeling of not having anything almost. You know, this feeling of not having, losing everything or being in a position to where you've lost everything. And feeling remorseful or feeling guilty and getting over that guilt and over that remorsefulness. Feeling redemption, you know, for the choices or whatever it was that you feel like you've made in the past where you could have made a better choice or decision. And how that's kind of playing out in your life at this time. Can you tell me more, please? For Paul, too. The King of Cups energy, that's Scorpio energy. That's that transformative energy that's here with redemption. This redemption's kind of transforming you into being able to own up to your own emotions and balance out your own feelings of things. You know, but look at this King of Cups and the way that he's kind of, his stance here. Owning up to your feelings is a big part of this redemption. Yeah. Yeah. You may be sitting in a position where you feel like you've learned everything that you can learn, or wherever you are, and that you're kind of making a choice of which direction you want to take in the future. And you may have already chosen that direction and you're just waiting for that to kind of play out. How that's going to kind of play out for you. Knight of Cups. This could be you actually extending, like healing hands here, extending someone an emotional offer and a connection. Or have waited on someone else to kind of give you that to some extent. And how this is all kind of played out. Tell me about the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. There's another King of Cups in reverse this time. Tell me about the 5 of Cups in reverse. There's the Moon energy. Tell me about the King of Cups here. 2 cards came out with this, 3 cards came out with this one. There's your heartbreak. There's your Queen of Pentacles, so that could be your counterpart there. And there's that 8 of Wands, which is that communication. Whew. Okay. So this King of Cups and this Queen of Pentacles that's here. Emotion and someone that is, you know, stable. That's someone stable in your life. Having that redemption over this. So you may feel like someone maybe kind of, I mean, again, this is another energy of forgiveness and healing. Healing, this is maybe someone that you need to kind of reach out to and communicate your emotion that's here and the honesty that's behind that. But for others of you, this is like you forgiving yourself for how you've kind of affected a Queen of Pentacles kind of energy. someone in your life, forgiving yourself for how you've affected someone in your life here that was someone that was grounded in your life, and kind of moving forward after forgiveness has taken place, and how to move forward after that forgiveness has taken place. But there's your trigger. You know, that's your trigger that kind of lies there with that other person, like we talked about, for you to have to own up to those feelings of that pain that's been coming up. So why is that 3 of Wands here? Temperance in reverse. Yeah, you need to balance this energy out and not just turn your back on it. This isn't something that's in balance, and I feel like you're in borderline in this position to where you kind of almost want to shut the door on this because it's too overwhelming for you, in a sense. Putting on your armor once again and kind of going to battle, if you will, but still yet standing behind that wall, you know, not addressing, just waiting for the future energy in your ships to come in, but not addressing that you're completely off balance when it comes to that. It's almost kind of like this arrogant feeling here with the way that he looks, this King of Cups energy, at this right here with the forgiveness and the generosity with that Queen of Pentacles. That more stable. Now, if you feel like you're feeling more stable here because forgiveness is something that caused progression. What they're saying here is that you're sitting here waiting on something that's completely off balance, but you're not addressing it. You're not looking at it. And there's a frustration behind that. You may be sitting here waiting for this Knight of Cups to come in, this romantic offer to kind of come towards you, because that's what's happening here, but that's something that hasn't transpired just yet. Why is the Knight of Cups here? Now, there's the Queen of Wands in reverse. There's a little bit of frustration that comes in with this other person that's here about this Knight of Cups energy. But it's causing some insecurities. It's causing some pain. This closed off energy that's here. This Queen of Wands being in reverse. Normally someone that's very confident, and there's not a lot of confidence that goes into this when you're talking about this Knight of Cups. The lack of confidence that's here could be something that comes up with your value and how you're seeing yourself. You notice how he has a stick horse but not a real one, you know, and an investment behind him, but it's not a very large investment that's here. It's almost like you don't feel quite like you compare to the position that you're kind of been placed in. It's not equal to you in some sense. You know? And this King of Cups here in reverse is because you're looking at your actual pentacles here. Yeah. I mean, you could be looking at the time that you've spent. You could be looking at the things that you've spent. Just everything that you're losing is what's actually knocking you out of balance. But you're not focusing on that, bringing that back to balance. You're just waiting for it to happen, but it's not gonna. You have to go to battle. You have to address the pain. You have to heal. These insecurities are going to continue to come up. It's just a never-ending cycle that's going to continue to repeat itself until you kind of reach that point of alchemy, that point of reaching that level of seeing all this to a higher perspective. If you truly believe that you have a certain purpose in your life, then this isn't something that you can just wake up to an extent. This is something that you have to develop over time, and you're going through this process. If you're not going to address this process, you're not going to ultimately get the outcome that you're looking for. Because you just keep putting on different masks or being someone different over and over and over. You know, you need to own up to this King of Cups kind of energy here and balance your emotions out for real. not just to have this forgiveness take place so that you can have progressive energy here with this Queen of Pentacles, this grounded energy, but then not recognizing this and blocking this out. You know, you have to address this. These are two major things that you need to kind of pay attention to and address. This Queen of Wands being in reverse and this Temperance in reverse, this is a big deal. This is you not looking at your own worth and how off balance that is. Looking at outside yourself for that, waiting for that to be shown to you, waiting for this romantic offer to come in or this love offer to come in, you know. But that's something that you're looking outside of yourself for. You can't build up your confidence outside of yourself, because then it's easier to be taken from you, isn't it? Which is, I think, kind of what has happened here. Okay. Let me see what the this moon energy is like. With this Five of Cups in reverse is something that you feel like you have overcome, and you have overcame that to an extent to where you've realized that connection of how that Five of Cups and that moon are kind of connected to the same energy, but how to transmute that. So what I mean by that is you've had this change when it comes to the moon, how you're seeing the moon. So when you're sitting in that clock tower and you're looking out, you're looking for what? You're looking for any kind of illusions. You're looking for any kind of fear, you know, kind of that's causing you to look in those areas of, if you meet someone new, you start to read that person and you look for things in them that you know through your experiences for you are kind of like a red flag for that person. But there's a level of delusion that kind of goes into that, where maybe in the moon energy, you're kind of clouded with other things from your past that you haven't healed from that need to be addressed. Well, the reason that I overreact with situations is because this happened to me. The reason that I don't trust anybody is because everybody in my life has betrayed me, you know. Things to this nature that you label and you put it on there and you put your armor on, but you don't actually address it or forgive it completely. And the forgiveness isn't meant for you to be able to just forgive that person because they deserve that. Absolutely not. You don't even have to acknowledge that person to forgive. You just forgive the situation and know that there was kind of something to do with the learning experience that you recognized in yourself. Yep, I fell for that. You know, I fell for that person. And they, you know, leaded me into the situation because I wasn't making a choice for myself, because I didn't know myself like I know myself now. I wouldn't let that happen to me now. That kind of thing is the process that they're kind of saying here that you need to focus on, because you can get more and more and more in depth with that, to where when you go into that battle with that other king, or you go into that battle with that other, whatever it is, adventure in your life, you know, your own strengths and weaknesses, and you can call yourself out, you know. Okay. I don't know what that's about. Oh, yeah. Call yourself out. Look at that. You have that High Priestess in reverse. You need to let all that stuff that you're kind of feeling when it comes to whatever this is here in your backdrop. Those secrets, that redemption is all that you're feeling, those feelings to come out into the open and to be addressed. And it's something that you're not doing. It's going to be very healing for you if you could just express those. Do you see all this blue? Blue is the color of the throat chakra, like I said, and it's communication. And if you could just kind of bring that out and communicate things in this way, you would feel a sense of redemption. You would feel a sense of freedom from that. You're so very close to it anyways. I'm seeing 6, 7, 8, 9 here. So you're on the other end of this. You're working your way down. You're about to ground this closing of the cycle here, but you're kind of focused on this loss and kind of in this sense of This always happens to me. Why does this always happen to me? Why am I always the one that gets this, you know, the crappy end of stuff? Why is it always in this nature? This is where your emotions are off balance. You're not putting purpose or gratitude or reasoning, or the lesson is not coming into this pity party that you're kind of having here amongst yourself. I don't mean that to offend anybody. I just have to say what comes out. I'm sorry. But we all do that. You know, we get into that place. There's purpose behind that, you know. Just like there is with any other negative emotion. And a pity party kind of is a negative emotion, but it's also, at some point you say, you know, what am I doing to myself? You know, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I here again? And that's when you find your deepest inner strength in that vulnerability. So that's purposeful, just like everything else is. Everything. I think every emotion's purposeful. All of them are triggers to show us where we need to heal. All the negative stuff. Okay, one more. Let's see what the Knight of Cups in reverse. No. King of Cups in reverse. I'm sorry. King of Cups in reverse, please. The Chariot, yeah. Moving into a positive direction. I think pile 1 had this in the same spot. The Chariot here in reverse. You need to take the reins of your own emotions and be that driving force to move them into a positive direction. You need to be expressive with your emotions. It's the one thing that everything else you feel pretty confident about, but this one thing that you don't feel confident about is your emotional state and how to address your emotions. You have the Magician here, so there's that, and Knight of Swords and the King of Pentacles in reverse. So there's the counterpart energy that's there. That Ten of Swords that's there. I think you're frustrated because of this Ace of Pentacles, this new offer, new beginning. And it goes from the Ace to the 10. So maybe it was a cycle that didn't really last very long, but there was still improvements there. It's something that you need to recognize. It comes from a place of what has happened here and the cause of this. It's made you feel like this King of Pentacles in reverse. It's made you feel like you don't have any authority, any kind of power over the ending of things is another trigger that's coming up. This is where the pride comes in, guys. Yeah. Nobody's going to knock this Magician off, right? I already have everything I need. I don't need you anyway. I already have everything I need. But what's happening is your ego's getting a wake-up call because of the ending. Your ego's being rattled right now, and it's causing you to overstep in that pride kind of way and not accept the emotional imbalance that you're feeling. If you don't accept it, you'll never be able to take control of it. And if you can't have control of all the kings, you'll never become the emperor. Truth be told. Truth be told. Okay. Oh, good Lord. These are taking everything I have out of me, guys. Let's get some healing advice. And then we'll get a postcard from Spirit. Okay. Can I have some advice for pile 2 moving forward, please? Chemistry. The attraction that you feel is mutual. This ego ego death that you're having here is causing this Queen of Wands in reverse, these insecurities to take place. And you need to know that the chemistry that you do feel is mutual. That's the exterior of everything that's kind of going on here. These insecurities are something that's just you haven't ever addressed. That it's just being highlighted now because you didn't address them in the past. But that being said, the chemistry that you feel with this other person in this connection is definitely something that is mutual. the healing that needs to be done here is a lot more in depth than that. This is about you getting control of your own emotions and moving those, taking the reins of your own emotions, moving forward. We have wait. The timing is not quite right. There's things behind the scenes that you can't see, and I do feel like you are waiting for things to come into balance. But in the meantime, there could be some things that you could be doing to kind of help yourself be in a better position. And that's what's needing to be addressed. What else? We have true love and addiction. This love is emotional, physical, and unconditional, and addiction is affecting this relationship. There could be something here that has to do with, I might pull another card for that. We have forgiveness here at the bottom of the deck. Forgive yourself and another will help you to move forward, which is something that we talked about. And the leap of faith, it's safe to make the choice that you've been considering. I do feel like that addiction could just be, I feel like one of the things that they're kind of saying here is that you may actually just be addicted to the fact of making your ego kind of feel a certain way when it comes to love. Love gives you that kind of boost. That's why this has triggered you so much. But love gives you this kind of boost, especially if you're in a connection with someone else that is emotionally or codependent in any kind of way, and they're feeding that onto you. It's boosting your ego in a sense. That's where that kind of comes from. So you may be actually addicted to relationships for that reason. And it may not necessarily be a romantic relationship. You may be addicted to other relationships for that reason, because you're constantly, maybe you're trying to kind of look outside of yourself like we talked about, instead of looking within to offer yourself that love when you need it. And this, it goes back to you being kind of in this sad point at this moment with yourself and everything that you've lost and what emotionally that's kind of doing to you. Addressing this addiction to relationships and looking for love outside of yourself is part of that. That song pops in my head every single time I say that in a reading. It's so funny. It's looking for love, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love in too many faces. Searching to find eyes and traces of what I've hoping for. Is that right? Whatever. Anyway, that song. Where's the rest of that song go? Okay. It's like you're kind of always looking for somebody to just show you that love that you wish you could give yourself. That's a soulmate. It's a soulmate. A divine counterpart will offer you the love that will reflect the love that you need to be showing yourself. They're going to show you the directions that you need to take. Second chance is wanting to show me itself, and so is friendship here. It's just kind of wiggled itself off the deck. So take a leap at a second chance of friendship. Maybe part of what is the purpose of this connection, or taking a leap at a friendship, maybe part of this connection. Well, this isn't supposed to be in this deck, but it says it's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. Imagine that. How funny. The other part of that is, I'm going to get one more. Hold on. There we go. I feel it. Body. This is confidence. This is confidence within yourself. Now, this body doesn't necessarily have to mean your physical body. This body could actually mean just a body, like the body of the issue, the body of the problem, your foundation, how your foundation has been built within yourself. Anything else here, Spirit? Yep, okay. Doubt. Woo. Yep. Absolutely. That is exactly what I was talking about. Okay, I'm going to read these to y'all real quick. Body. Show me, Divine, how to love and fully care for this body. Please give me the radiant miracle of accepting my body as it is. You may be someone that has issues with just, I think we all kind of go through this point at some point that where we kind of have lack of confidence with our bodies or with the vessel that we're in, you know. And it's funny too, because we're constantly changing. We're not ever going to stay exactly the same way. But man, that right there can cause a lot of fear within, keeping you unable to make a lot of decisions in your life, take a lot of leaps in your life when you don't feel comfortable within yourself. And if you could get your emotions, your emotional self into balance to where you can really take the reins of how you feel and owning up to that, how you feel and addressing it without kind of pride being so far into it, and knowing that that strength is coming from that vulnerability. If you could kind of sense and tune into that and align with that, you could take yourself a long way. Because really, when you're focused on this not feeling confident, it is that negativity. And then they're saying it's time to release that negativity. It's time to transform this. And it's a full moon here, which is all the emotions that come along with this whole thing we're talking about here. Doubt. Offering all to the divine doesn't mean negativity never arises. Yeah. But you can say, free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. Exactly. Okay, I'm being drawn to these. Oh, okay. There's a special message here for you about your purpose that's to the side of me right here on your right. Well, it'd be your left, right? Okay, so I hope, what is it? You want to tell me about this? What is it over here about Pile 2's purpose, Spirit? Healing the mother line, healing ancestral work. Wow. Mother line and growing up. Guys, there's some healing that needs to be done as far as, yeah, you have this inner calling, this inner knowing, this inner calling. It says, the mystic in living courageously. Imagine that. An inner calling about living courageously. And that's kind of what we talked about with your purpose. Healing the mother line. So you could have some kind of, especially with ancestors that's being shown here, some kind of ancestral mother, maybe a ancestral breakage that needs to take place as far as a mother line goes, or growing up, or how you've grown up. I want to pull a card for that, because this is something to do with healing that can help you transcend this energy here real quick. Oh, they're calling me to something else. Hold on. This right here, guys, if you have a mother wound, it could result from this, not feeling that motherly type of energy growing up. You may have had a mother that was distant, or that was incapable, or that wasn't in balance herself to be able to provide you with that nurturing kind of energy, or maybe kind of led you astray in some sort of way, and you weren't capable of being able to heal certain situations, or they taught you how to kind of put on your strength and armor and not address pain. Someone that didn't show you that part. You know, there's two parts to the reason that we have a mother and a father, and those two aspects is the duality overall of everything. It's the motherly energy is the nurturer and the compassionate and the and this is my belief, but this is we physically have a woman and a man for a reason, as far as that feminine goes and the masculine goes, whatever form you're in when you get to earth, or the way that you express yourself. There's a feminine and a masculine energy. And the feminine energy is the energy of providing this unconditional love, which is something that the masculine is not as known for. It's more that protective kind of leadership kind of energy. It's the Empress and the Emperor, right? We both have that kind of within ourselves, but there's like a call that you're needing to recognize that you maybe you were never brought up in a place to where you had that kind of energy around you enough to where they could show you how to keep your emotions in balance by addressing those emotions. And that's why you react to situations like you do. And that's why you kind of allow negativity or fear to kind of cling on to you. And that's how you make decisions when it comes to doubt, which is what's leading you into those decisions. Okay, what is it about this that you want to say? Growing up is on here. You know, growing up past that is, there's a call, okay? Stop. There's family here. So look at that. And we talked about the mother and the child and how crazy. This is the number 44. Your foundations as far as in passion. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And this is the number 14. 444 is the universe is protecting you. Pay attention to your thought, which brings me back to it's time to release negativity, okay? Think about your thoughts and what you're thinking about when it comes to, maybe when it comes to your, how you see what, you know, how you see, how do I want to say this? This is going to be delicate. How you see mothers, or how you see a more feminine energy, and how you treat a more feminine energy, and why. Why is that? Why do you address the feminine in the way that you do? And I don't care if you're masculine or feminine. It goes for either way. We all have mothers. Either way, they're in our lives or not, but we all have them. And we couldn't be born without. But there's something here to have to do with healing, with family, and what you're passionate about. Why you're passionate in the way that you are when it comes to family. Why you're passionate in the way that you are when it comes to your own security. Why you feel the need to protect yourself in this way. Why is that? There's something to do there, guys. Mother wound that needs some healing. And maybe has left you confused with confusion up twice. Why you are the way that you are. There's something there that needs to be addressed. Funny too, because pile 1 actually had a father wound that come up. Okay, so I'm going to get a postcard from Spirit to close. We're going to get some initials and key cards. And that'll be it. It's not about all these 4s in the foundation. How are you? What was your motherly influence in your life? And how did that affect you growing up? It's something that needs to be addressed. Why do you have to feel this security like you do and not being able to balance your own emotional state out? Okay. We have with love. Dear you, did you know that when you stop fighting and accept everything exactly as it is now, miracles start to happen? There is a freedom in the kind of radical acceptance. Let go of unrealistic expectations and see how things really are, not how you'd like them to be. You'll be surprised at how everything seems to fall into place. When you realize to accept things, life gets messy. When you refuse to accept things, life gets messy. You act messy, and your world stays in chaos, tension, and disarray. But don't try to force a change or manipulate circumstances. Instead, learn about what is in front of you and face it with your eyes fully open. Then you can decide stay or go, sink or swim, move or stay still. Acceptance is the key to freedom and opens the door to the real opportunities waiting to be discovered. Set yourself and others free, loving you so much, always and forever. This last part with the exclamation point was set yourself and others free. It ties into this whole purpose that's here. You going through this learning experience and healing these past wounds here, especially if it's a mother line, is part of the ancestral work, which is what this says, your ancestral work. And you have ancestors here because they're saying to you, keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing things and your purpose is to fulfill things in your ancestral line that they couldn't or they didn't fully complete. There's a breakage that needs to take place here when it comes to the mother line. Okay, I'm gonna let that go. Came on strong and then it just left. Okay, so let's get some key cards and some initials. Okay, so we have growth. Yep, which you have done. Judgment separates, and that's a big one here. And that's not only you judging other people, but also judging yourself, and that's the biggest part. Empower yourself. Taking control of your own emotions, learning how to control your own emotions and use them for yourself is what gives you strength and power. If you emotionally, if you understand who you are, how you are, your purpose, and why you feel certain ways, then you have control. If you don't, and you react to other people's emotions, then you're allowing them to have that control over you. This is about you being that emperor. You know, encouragement. Look at all this yellow. Prepare. There's an energy of preparing for this healing that's going to take place here. They want me to get me one more for that. What's prepare? What we got? Going well. It will go well. Prepare that it will go well. Whatever this means for you as far as this redemption goes and where you're headed. If this is a connection or whatever this is. How things are headed. Look, see all the orange and the yellow, that sacral and root chakra kind of energy there? Wait, that's the root chakra. Is that right? Okay, just let's get some initials here. Oh, gosh, I'm going to have to find that and write that on the screen. I feel like there's a significant meaning there for those colors to be the ones that kind of come out. So I'm going to write all that down if I don't forget. I would go through all that, but... Okay, so let's see. We have 5, which is the change that's taking place here. 2 is about the decisions and balance that needs to come into play. And 7 is the alignment and reflecting on all those things. You also have X, could be at a crossroads, sitting and making that decision. You have the and, so I do feel like there's more to come, and we have BF here, so this could be a friend, in this connection here with maybe a friend, or maybe you started as friends. We have E, M, or W, R, I, O, and then you also have 6, which is healing, obviously, and 5, 6, 7, which is something that we set up here, and then N, H, H, N, that's weird, N, N, H, H, W, and D. This is definitely someone that is your reflection. It's supposed to reflect certain things upon you so that you can see where it is that you need to heal. It's not the most comfortable. It definitely is painful, but it's that pain is telling you where you need to heal. You need to address it, okay? What else am I seeing? Don't dim your light here. Don't dim your light to fit in with others. You may be really worried about kind of your finances or what it is that you've lost here, and that might be something that keeps you out of balance. Why is that? It causes you to kind of go chaos or scatterbrain to some extent. We have or, or, We have home. That's a foundation. Home is a foundation, but it's a feeling. Home is a feeling of home. You can have home anywhere if you feel like it's home to you. And this is kind of that, you know, remembering that here. Maybe something from your past too that kind of makes you look at things in that way. Home. I don't know what I mean by that, but take it how it resonates, I guess. Okay guys, I guess I'm gonna leave you here. I don't really see a whole lot more in the bowl. From who are you taking information from? Guys, whenever you're getting information from anybody, make sure that you look at that person. What have they experienced? Where have they been in their life? You know, what direction are they in currently? Just make sure if you're taking solid advice from someone and you believe it, take on that belief, question that belief, and then look into it further. Because you could be kind of taking advice from people that aren't talking or telling you things from a sense of experience. So be aware of that. I don't know why that's a special message. It's coming through, so there you go. Hen. Feeling like a mother hen? If you feel like you have to be a mother hen, especially with family, why is that? It has something to do with your foundations and what you were the way that you felt in your foundations maybe wasn't so solid kind of growing up. So you feel the need to kind of be that protector or protect everyone around you. Okay guys, so I'm gonna leave you here, or I could just keep going and going forever. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for your love and your support always. I hope this helps. I hope it brings you some clarity. I hope it made sense to you guys, or there's bits and pieces that made sense that helped. Whatever it is for you, I just hope and pray that it meets the people that it needs to get to and helps you moving forward. So I'm gonna leave you here, and thanks for being here. Thanks guys for your love and your support and your kindness. If you want a personal reading from me, my information for that is in the description box. And that's all I have. So I hope to see you guys soon. And yeah, I already went through everything else, didn't I? Hope to see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye. Hey, pile 3. So if you chose the Penelope Tarot, this is going to be your reading. We're going to put the tarot to the side. We're going to go ahead and pull some oracle cards. These are some serious overhaul of some healing messages that have been maybe a little overdue. But they're pretty intense. They've been pretty intense, I feel. So we'll see how it goes for you guys. I feel like that y'all's is going to be a little bit different than the other two piles. I don't know what that means, but I feel like there's something different to do with healing compared to the other two piles to some extent. So first, we're going to start here with the Mystical Journey Oracles. Just going to give us an overall look at what we're looking at here as far as this healing goes for you. Pile 3. Pile 3's message script. Pile 3. Divine Gateway, number 7. Life Review, number 36. What an awesome card. How pretty is that? I'm gonna hold this up so y'all can look at it. There's a lot to this card. There's been some blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into some stuff for you here recently. I feel like you've been kind of bruised up here in a situation, but you're trying to keep your chin up. Cycles of life. Wow. You're being awoken to this new kind of healing experience within yourself. And for some of you, you may be getting kind of insights here in your, particularly, your right ear may be kind of ringing to some sensations or something to this nature. That is a spirit that's trying to communicate some things to do with how you can be more in flow in the state that you're in. Because it's almost like having a guardian angel that's beside you, trying to help guide you, whisper kind of intuitive hits to maybe which direction you should kind of be looking at, or to help keep your head up in a situation that you feel as if you've been extremely vulnerable in. Anything else here? This divine gateway is part of this whole process here for you. Yeah. We have afterlife. We have life review, cycles of life, and afterlife here. Which these cards aren't like that. They don't all say something to do with life to that nature. And this is about the mystical journey, you know, and this is judgment in tarot, number 20. The afterlife. Divine gateway, and then the afterlife with cycles of life and life review. This is, I feel like, some of you kind of awakening to your own healing experience. Being guided. You're being guided in the right direction at this time. This is something that you've possibly kind of prayed for, is this guidance, or you've been kind of hoping for. You've been kind of moving in the way of like divine faith, you know, that everything's gonna ultimately be a cycle, that there's going to be a closing out of this to some extent. You've kind of trusted in spirit, and spirit's kind of rewarding you for that, in a way of saying, you know, you've went down this long journey here of almost completely blind faith, or you're now allowing yourself to be filled with that faithful kind of energy, and knowing that it's just, this is part of your life's purpose or cycle, or it's cycle. It has to do with you kind of recognizing these cycles within yourself. You're starting to connect some dots. And this is your gateway here, okay? That this is what spirit kind of has been waiting for you to experience. And the reason that you're in this position is because you've kind of called upon them with this life review. You've called upon them, and they've put that back on you and said, we are here to kind of help you in this situation that you're in. And we've recognized that the fact that you've kind of put your chin up to getting hit several times, you know, over and over, and you've bled, fought for things in your life. And we acknowledge that you're at this point that you're in. But in order for you to be able to be a co-creator here in your own life experience and not leave it completely up to us, you need to be able to have this life review so that you can go back and recognize these on cycles of yourself, so that you can heal these cycles of yourself and put yourself on judgment. Let's judge the decisions that you've made. Let's put your life in a review. And then you can help us. We will help you kind of through your experiences. We'll help you through these cycles. We'll help you to be able to ground yourself. If you just listen to our direction and allow that to take place. And I think some of y'all have been kind of worried about that. You know, you get into that kind of clouded area in your mind mentally about the signs that you see. Signs that you see. So let's say you pray for something and the next day you see it in a way, but not exactly what it is. For instance, I don't know, you might have a thought in your head that you need to have a garage sale, you know, whatever that is. And then the next day you're driving through town and you look over and there's a huge garage sale. I mean, that is like kind of spirit in a way helping you on this path of being able to see these things. You didn't tell anybody about this. You didn't say anything out loud. You haven't looked at anything on the internet. You know, there's no other logical way that anybody else other than you yourself would know this. Now, that's coming straight from Spirit, guys. That's coming from God, the universe, whoever it is for you. That's just coming straight from Spirit. But what happens is the cloudedness comes in, okay? Different judgments that other people kind of place on us when it comes to being able to have these kind of intuitive things that are kind of happening to you here, and being judged for it in a way where it starts to create this fear. Fear is like one thing. Fear's one thing, and then everything else radiates off of fear, okay? So we have fear itself, and then anxieties from that, stress from that, worry from that, all these illusions that take place, you know, different scenarios of what coulda, shoulda, woulda, or whatever is kind of taking place. Talking about the sign that you've looked for, you know, that's, well, you know, you just kind of put that in the back burner. But, you know, it's funny, we ask for these signs, and then when they show up, we judge them. Just like we're afraid to get judged. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? And Spirit's like, you've asked for it. We're trying to give it to you. You see the mermaid that's in her ear here? This is what I was talking about. That's that spirit that's kind of speaking to you. And this has a lot to do with your more intuitive nature as well. Not just signs from Spirit, but just have that inner knowing, and following that inner knowing and that gut intuition is part of this. They're trying to help you to see things, cycles in your life, and how you've kind of experienced things and how repetitive those things can kind of be, and the learning experience from it. So this gate, this like portal, if you will, is open about reflecting on your life in particular to help you move forward. You know, God doesn't kind of make us brave. He gives us opportunities to be brave over and over, or whoever that higher power is. You know, they give us these opportunities to be a certain way. It comes with the aces. And then you go on that journey to learn. And I think that you've kind of asked for strength, and they're giving it to you in a certain extent. Okay, what else here, Spirit? Prophets and ancient seers, decisions, predictable guidance. Predictive guidance. Guys, this is the number 18. That's that moon energy that we talked about that's here. And this is this whole thing of what I've just got done going on, that whole scenario about, and how that's affecting you. Prophets and ancient seers. Guys, you, I think, have this like gift that you're kind of coming online to here, and you have this divine gateway here. There's a call here to kind of see things, but there's also a call here to see past the illusions so that Spirit can help lead you in making decisions moving forward. And you know that this is there, and you know that this is happening to you in this way, this prophets and ancient seers kind of thing, you know, being able to see things or hear things or whatever it is that you can't really explain. And you're kind of covering that up with this moon energy. And I guess this is what they're kind of wanting you to address in this reading. Okay. You have Archangel Phanuel here, guys. This is the number 20, which is also Judgment and Tarot once again. And Archangel Phanuel, I hope I say that right, Phanuel. It's Phanuel. Anyway, arguing with myself. I think this is like the angel of the face of God. So this is like representing that redemption kind of energy, being able to put yourself in front of judgment, like we talked about. And this has to do with the afterlife as well, you know, questioning what the afterlife is like and the whole purpose for life itself and all these different things you're coming awakened to here. That's that portal that's stepping in. This is hope, optimism, and new beginnings. Looking at the face of God and kind of with judgment in a way of being able to reflect that back onto yourself. Not that you are judging God, but you are to an extent. It doesn't have to do with God. It has to do with you and God, whoever it is that you're believing in. You know, it's the higher power that's there. It doesn't have to do with that higher power. It has to do with your ability to be able to use it. It has to do with your ability to be able to recognize how you can make these decisions for yourself and having that intuition and that inner knowing to help guide you. But listening to it is where you're fighting here. Having hope and optimism about having this new awakening or new beginning within yourself moving forward. It's almost like you're denying yourself of that in a way because of the moon energy that's here. The healing heart, number 9, love, love, acceptance, and romance. You could have an ancient romance that's coming into play in this, maybe in the future, or if not now, because I see ancient twice, anyway, ancient is coming to mind. So with that ancient and love, you could have a past life soulmate, soul connection that's playing a part in this, or just in your life, or going to be. This heart healing, I'm laughing because I said in the beginning of your reading, I felt like this had something to do with the heart space or healing the heart, and y'all's power was going to be different, and it sure is. It's very different. This is the number 9, which are things coming into fruition for you, which is that whole awakening process when it comes to healing the heart. But it's also the Hermit and Tarot, so that journey of healing the heart is part of this, and being awoken to these cycles that you keep experiencing, and that you're feeling these intuitive hits, that you need to acknowledge them and have this life review that takes place here so that you can grow from those experiences and be able to judge yourself moving forward when it comes to that. So that you can accept yourself and accept romance in your life and accept the solar plexus chakra, guys, has been highlighted so much right now in my readings. But pertaining to you being able to use your own power, you know, your own strengths, and kind of feeding off those, especially when it comes to healing the heart. They're saying again, you know, you asked for strength, we're giving it to you. We're giving you the strength to be able to heal your own heart. But in order to do that, you're going to have to look at these life review, these life cycles that you've experienced, and place judgment on those so that you can figure out the decisions that you made and how to kind of use their guidance in a way of helping you move forward. Okay, so let's get some tarot. Y'all's is fun. I like this reading. I like to be able to kind of have readings like this and talk about this kind of thing. This awakening process into your own healing is, I mean, it's one of the most profound parts of your life. And this seriously could have been caused by a divine masculine or a catalyst that's been in your life. I just saw the Lovers in reverse with the King of Wands. Someone that has been someone in your life to show you maybe more of a positive outlook or lead you towards more of a positive direction, but kind of been a catalyst to that. So whatever it was probably pretty painful. And having to recognize that pain and go through and heal that pain is there. Okay. For some of you, that's not the case, but that's definitely someone's, or a lot of you's kind of direction of why this is kind of kicked off or got started. And this is the gateway that you're looking at, by the way. This is how you purify yourself, guys. This is how you purify yourself and ultimately change yourself and change the way that you perceive in the afterlife. Putting yourself on judgment. The Knight of Daggers. Yep. The Page of Daggers. Honesty. There's that honesty in the Eight of Cups. Yep. Being honest with yourself about your healing and the messages that you're getting is what they're wanting to address here. There's that King of Wands again. So he's coming back. He has something to say. It's funny how he looks like he has a dagger in his chest with his hands out. Whoever this was, they kind of felt like they may be kind of playing a victim in a situation, by the way. That's just a backstory for some of you. They may be, whoever this is kind of playing a victim to some extent. The way that you're kind of seeing it. But there's some issues there with that need to be addressed, because I don't know necessarily that this person is fully playing the victim. They may actually be a little bit, but they're, even if they are or aren't, it doesn't matter. There's things there that you actually need to address about yourself and kind of get your mind off of that energy of them, of looking at them in this way. You definitely still have a level of, there's the Queen of Crystals, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. You're not giving to this person. This person is not giving, you're not giving to this person, and I don't think this person's giving to you. This is a mismatched energy that's here. You may look at this person as being someone that is being greedy, or just greedy with themselves and their own energy here. We have Taurus and Aries energy. This is, you need to heal this. This is what you need to heal and what you need to address. So funny how these two cards look kind of similar. And the colors. Cycles of life. How have you handled the cycles of your life in particular? Like, what are the cycle that you keep experiencing in your life? If you could say, you know, that's just keeps happening to me. What would that look like to you to say that? They're asking you to put yourself in judgment here. Place yourself under the same scrutiny that you're kind of placing this other person under. Really looking at yourself in that kind of way to decode what direction that you need to take moving forward, and then listening to that inner guidance when it comes to that is completion of this whole cycle. But you're not wanting to address the pain. Maybe that's kind of significant here as well. But you need to, because you can't just continually keep asking for strength and have an opportunity for you to see it or develop it and then not do it. You know, you need to be honest with yourself that. You know, I think that you have this idea that there's this angel that's going to carry you through everything. But they are doing that, but just not in the way that you're thinking. That's the judgment part on God. I don't mean that you're actually judging God. It's that you're judging what you see as God and his abilities to be able to help you. Now, I know I keep saying God, and I know that we all believe in different things. What I mean by that is just someone that is more over you, a higher power than you that you believe in, or that you have believed in. You're changing the way that you're kind of seeing things, and you're awakening to that. Yeah. Okay. This whole entire spread is about you being strong enough, which this King of Wands energy is an energy of being extremely strong in what it is that they want. They are fire energy. They carry Aries energy just like the Emperor does. And which interesting, you have the Queen of Pentacles that's here, which is also that Empress energy with the Taurus. But they're saying here you have this drive to keep your head up. So you have that same drive to be able to go back and heal these things that need to be addressed in order for you to make progress in your life moving forward. Why is this Knight of Daggers here? You can't always, you have the Six of Wands in reverse. Being honest with yourself about maybe your fall from grace. That's interesting. Because we talked about this over here, and this being you judging yourself in an extent to where you're really criticizing yourself. You're criticizing yourself in a way that's going to make you better in the end. And addressing this fall is something that you're needing to do here. And you're needing to do it in a way of how you can do this. I know we say like, well, I know what I did. I did this, this, and this wrong kind of thing. Well, that's good if you really believe it and acknowledge it. But what they're asking of you here is to, in order to address the pain that you need to address, if you want to make cycles, complete cycles, and have the right decisions for yourself moving forward here in the afterlife even, then you need to be able to address situations and things logically on what it looks like logically, whatever that situation that you're needing to heal from looks like, as far as you goes. Not the whole situation, just you. What decisions did you make that affected it? What decisions did you do? Did you make? Did you say? Did you, whatever it was in this, if this was a relationship, for instance, what part did you play in the downplay of that? Because there is something here. There's something here that are things that you've kind of added more fuel to the fire, I guess you could say. And they're wanting you to criticize those that fall from grace. You're going to have to look at yourself in this way of not being always victorious, not being on the stronger end of things, but reflecting on those things. Page of Daggers, please. Page of Daggers. Queen of Daggers in reverse. Do you see all these swords here that are circling around this victory? Libra energy that's here, this Queen of Daggers in reverse. You may be kind of seeing this other person as being very cold, very cutthroat kind of a person here, in the way that they've kind of acted in this situation or whatever that is. Or you yourself may be someone that kind of does that, but kind of you do that if, you know what, I'm just going to cut this off. You're just going to cut the snake's head off, And doing that, stepping into that kind of energy, that aggressive kind of King of Wands, fire, arrogance, kind of this this energy and not addressing the other person in the scenario to where you're judging that person, which is you, it leaves you down a path of resentments, more pain, because you're going to carry all that kind of stuff with you onto the next cycle in your life, even if that's not a relationship, whatever that is. It's going to attach. It's like, think of it as a germ that you carry with you. Resentment germ. And this resentment germ stays with you and attaches to everything that you put your hands on. So if this was kind of like a pain that's attached to that resentment, and you start to resent the situation and others, then every kind of experience that you have from here on out with other people is something that you're going to attach that resentment to. So whether that's distrust, disloyalty, feeling disrespected, which is a lot of energies that are radiating from your reading here that you need to kind of heal. All those kind of feelings that are being balled up are leading you towards a direction that's just not a good direction to be. You know, leaving that germ bug all over everything. They're wanting you to address this pain. Tell me about this Eight of Cups that's here. The Six of Daggers. Do you see how the sixes are both in reverse? Six is the number of healing. And this is what they're kind of saying in this overall spread, guys, is that you've been neglecting your own healing here. Yeah, the Six of Daggers in reverse. Six of Swords in reverse. I mean, you're needing, this is you need to get your butt back in that boat, and you need to go back to that Eight of Cups that you're refusing to look at and acknowledge those emotions, because you're not doing it. You're looking for strength outside of yourself. You know, looking to God, for God to give you strength, is technically looking outside of yourself. I mean, logically, it really is. If you just put it in those terms, you know. If you say, God, give me strength, again, they're giving you a lesson to show you how to grow and how to gain strength. This is what you need to do. They're not going to give you a vial and say, take this, when you need more, let us know. They're going to make you do the work, because they want you to ultimately purify yourself in your life, or wherever you are, whatever you've done so far, and put yourself in judgment. Okay, King of Wands. There's that Hermit that we talked about. That number 9 that we talked about, if you remember, at the bottom of your deck. The healing heart. I'm going to leave that out, actually. Yeah, mental clarity is it's gonna be what changes everything here for you, as far as holding on to this very cutthroat, kind of more of aggressive kind of energy that you're carrying here when it comes to this situation. This Hermit in reverse is someone that doesn't want to do the healing. I mean, that's just the way I'm seeing this. And you're stepping into this King of Wands, which is all that strength, but you're not using it to do the healing, and that's what they're saying here. You need to go on that Hermit journey. If you don't know the journey of the Hermit, maybe you should kind of look that up. That might be something that will help you. Especially if you're not someone that's normally into tarot, but maybe you just kind of stumbled into this reading for some reason, and I don't know, I'm kind of getting someone's story of that, or somehow you've kind of found yourself here. You should look up the Hermit's journey. That's what they're saying, to see what that's kind of insinuating, because this is kind of what I'm seeing here in your overall energy. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, please. Wheel of Fortune. There you go. They're giving you an opportunity to change things for yourself. Well, one of the things they're saying that you're going to have to change is this. Don't shoot the messenger. That's what they're saying here, okay? There's a greediness, a greedy kind of energy that comes out of not being able to see. It's not that that you're covering up what this person's kind of done and why these feelings are there in the first place. No. That's not it. It's that you are addressing yourself in this circumstance and what has transpired here. That's what they're asking you to do. You have an opportunity to not be in that single-sided energy and to kind of work this cycle out for your favor instead of moving forward with those resentments and pain and frustration, and not allowing it to keep you from being able to gain more opportunities in the future. Or when you do, maybe you can become more grounded with more opportunities in the future. Okay, so we're fixing to get some guidance cards. I don't know why I just went blank. There's something here. Hold on. I'm going to get some wild offering oracles here for you guys. Is there anything else that you need me to know here, Spirit? Anything else that... Okay. The Nine of Swords and the Five of Wands. I think that you're kind of very much so conflicted about having to go through and live this. Look at this Page of Cups that's here. This could have to do with some sort of an apology in the future, or wanting an apology from this person in the future in some sense. You know, having this justice, and in order for you to really have justice, or maybe if you've been waiting for an apology for this person, you know, wanting that justice to take place, you know, you have to kind of experience all this and kind of go through these cycles and deal with the pain. And one of the reasons that you haven't gotten that opportunity to have justice for yourself is because there is no duality that's here. It's a very one-sided feeling that I'm feeling because you don't want to address the pain. I'm not saying the situation's one-sided. Let's get that clear, okay? There's no really right or wrong here in this situation when it comes to you and your healing. But right now, because the scale, you have everything on this person's side, the scale's not being balanced internally with yourself. And what they're saying here is you've got to adjust that. Balance the scales out. This was just someone that you didn't add up with in this situation. Y'all didn't see eye to eye here. And why? Why is that? So what is their story compared to your story? What is your story? What part did you play? This keeps kind of coming up. This Nine of Swords is really worry and fear about conflict in the future, or conflict with others in the future. And this could actually be something that's holding you back from having future opportunities for yourself. You know, having that distrust that lays on you when you go to try to find a new relationship, that's something that's conflicting for sure. I feel like you're really struggling a lot with feeling like you never get justice, you know, like I never get accepted in a relationship, or I never get justified in a relationship. You know, the other party always kind of does me a certain kind of way. All these things, all these feelings, you need to be completely openly honest with yourself about them so that you can address them to close out some cycles for yourself. They want success for you. That's the thing. Spirit always wants whatever's for your highest good. And that's why they send you a lesson and they don't just give you a vial full of luck like Harry Potter, or strength. Okay, so let's see what comes out of these, and then I have some other message cards they're wanting me to get as well. They keep kind of drawing me to you. Okay, these are the Wild Offering Oracles for pile 3. What do you have here for pile 3, please? Well, that's not supposed to be in there, but I want to turn it over because of course I do. It says balance. Something is not an equal give and take. Focus on balancing yourself. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to look at yourself, balance yourself out with the positive, just like the negative. You have to have both in order for it to come together and work. You know, a battery has to have both ends. In order for you to feel charged and ready to be able to move forward in your life, you have to have both ends. That negative and that positive, it needs to be both addressed. Not just whatever, all the stuff you did right. The things that you did wrong need to be addressed and really addressed. Not just saying I did that and kind of moving forward. You have to recognize the other person's pain as well as your own to see where they're coming from. We have travel here. Let every aspect of this trip unfold in harmony. May divine order arrange and handle every detail. I'll be guided easily and follow the leads as they are shown. And I think this travel, to be honest with you, is just this for most of you guys, unless that's something that resonates for you for this reading. This is the journey of what you're fixing to transpire, or what you're fixing to, that's transpiring in front of you, what you're fixing to take here, this life review of these life cycles that you've been experiencing. This is what this kind of is insinuating. What else? Okay. We have compassion. Having compassion for yourself, that's a big deal. Calmness, yeah, creating calmness in your life, and you have to get rid of all the other stuff in order to do that, and contentment, absolutely. Compassion. As you pray each day for greater compassion, a new self is born, drawing new people and experiences. Dear Lord, help me feel ever depending self-acceptance. May I see myself as you see me. And that's so strong here, guys, with this being the face of God. You know, seeing yourself just like God kind of sees that purity within you, recognizing that it's there. It just needs to be kind of worked through, in order to shape towards that balance, that internal balance that you need or you're looking for. We have calmness here. The inner divine is the witness of all, remaining still and quiet, even during intense turbulence. So take a deep breath and then say, quiet my mind, dear Lord. May your peaceful calm take over me. And again, that's kind of that, you know, that feeling of knowing that even if you get this feeling like things aren't going your way, and you keep kind of repeating that cycle over and over, you need to have that inner knowing and that peace that if they're offering you strength, because that's something that you've been praying for, is compassion and strength. They're offering it to you in a lesson, not in the way that of drinking something and it happening, but it's coming in the way of a lesson so that you can build yourself up. Which brings me to contentment. Okay, you can learn to rest in what you already have and already are. Suddenly you remember, I'm right here resting in God. You know, you have to kind of constantly remind yourself of faith of the higher purpose, or faith of a higher being, or your higher self, or higher power, so that you can be in that place to where you know that it's all going to kind of come together and work out for you. And if something's being handed in your direction, even if it's hard, it's something that's handed to you for a reason. Why is that? Why are you having to experience this same thing over and over? You know, could it be a signal of God kind of saying, hey, keep giving you the same lesson over and over and over. When are you going to find that balance here so we can move on to the next shindig, you know? Can we get to the next one here? Okay, so I don't know why I said that in the way that I did, but maybe it resonated for somebody. We actually have two here, and I normally don't. I haven't been, but I'm going to take both of them. I want to start with this one. This one feels very masculine to me, with the deer on the front. The common saying, be in the world, but not of it, and wear the world loosely, refer to the need to be engaged with life while not being attached to specific outcomes. Do not take the world too personally, for you are one of many co-creators here to play, and we have many ideas about how all this should play out. Just know that the outcome doesn't matter as much as the presence that you bring to each experience and how you let yourself flow through life. There's a real freedom to knowing and accepting this. So will you wear your world loosely, or will you straitjacket yourself? Or allow it to straitjacket you? It is your choice, whatever happens. We have the courage, you have the courage to keep trying to live as you are meant to. And when it comes to manifesting, don't worry about the how or even the why. We have that covered. Everything is going to turn exactly as it should. Spirit has a plan. Loving you always and forever. And this is pretty much everything that we talked about here, guys. And especially with that Spirit has a plan at the bottom, we literally just got done talking about resting in God. So that's kind of cool. We have with love. Dearest you, if you allow your awareness to settle in, you will hear us whispering sweetness and encouragement to you. This is a special message. If you remember in the beginning of your reading, how crazy is that? Guys, direct from Spirit, I'm telling you. If you don't believe me, that's wild. Come on. You have that mermaid here that's whispering into their ear for cycles of life. So cool, guys. Love it. I'm going to read it again. If you allow your awareness to settle in, you will hear us whispering sweetness and encouragement to you. You will know the truth of things that cannot be discouraged through the material world. The receiver for this kind of essential knowing is your intuition, which is not your sixth sense, but your first and the primary navigational system of your soul. This is exactly what we talked about in the beginning with this right here. I mean, that was like a perfect paragraph for it. Listening to your intuitions. It's coming online, guys. We are entering the age of consciousness. Yeah. It's time to accept that the paranormal is normal. Human beings are multi-sensory, multi-dimensional beings. Spirit infuses all, and your soul's job is to discover those essential truths here on earth where we all agree to play. Today, trust your spidery senses, read between the lines, tune into the stories behind the stories, and your world will be shown miracles. Fear not, for we are here, right here, and Spirit loves you. Trust the invisible. That needed to be said. Now I completely understand why both of these cards kind of came out. And before I get some key cards here, I meant to pull these earlier and I got my mind sidetracked. I want to go ahead and pull them before we close because I do feel like there's something here for you. Okay, what is it? That came right out. Moving on. Endings that bring healthy beginnings. So they're wanting me to talk about this new beginning here with Judgment. Endings that bring healthy beginnings. In order for you, and this is all about cycles and everything else here, you do have new beginnings here waiting for you and opportunities here waiting for you. But in order for you to be able to have those opportunities in that new beginning, you're going to have to address the pain that you're still carrying with you and how to balance that out like we talked about. This is an ending that you had here with someone. And regardless of what happens with you and this person in the future, you're going to have to heal whatever it is. Whether you end up back together, not together, whatever it is that's going to take place there. In order for you to have a healthy new beginning with this person or anyone else, you have to be able to have that ending take place where you feel renewed and purified in that situation so that you're not carrying that resentment and stuff along with you. And remember, Spirit's in your ear whispering those sweet, encouraging words. And you need to kind of listen to that and your intuition that's calling you, it's awakening you to these patterns within yourself. Okay, let's get some initials and charms, or not charms, key codes. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. I put my kids to sleep and then I was going to hurry up and try to get this last one out so I can get it uploaded for tonight. And I'm tired. Sabotage. You could sabotage your future healthy beginning if you're not taking care of whatever this healing that needs to take place here is, okay? We have a gentle okayness here. There's a special message that's coming from this prophet and ancient seers kind of energy here. If you're always constantly in this state of mind that stuff never works out for you, you're always getting the crap end of the deal, kind of and being in that place in your state of mind, you're actually sabotaging yourself, you know, setting yourself up for failure. If you go into a relationship not trusting that relationship because of that past that you're carrying there with you and questioning everything, and you're going to react to that. You're going to counter-react that by those things ending up happening to you because you're afraid of it. So you can't avoid the fear. You have to face it dead on. Fear has a way of following us and making things worse for us. Success. It's a belief. Yep, that was addressed. Clear within. Yep, you need to be clear within. Be firmer. And believe in yourself. If you're being firm with other people, this person, whoever it is, whatever's going on, you're being firm with people around you, be that same kind of firm with yourself and what it is that you need to heal. Believe in yourself that you can address these emotions here and get past this Nine of Swords. You need to believe in yourself with that. Yeah, and it is a belief. Whatever it is that you're carrying about, whatever it is you're telling yourself about yourself and the stories that you're telling yourself, it's your belief. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. It just means that it's true for you because you believe it. And our beliefs become our reality. So if you're believing in that you always get that crappy deal, then that's going to become your reality in that sense. You always see it in that way. So we have the shoe. Again, they're wanting me to address this full energy, these new beginnings that are here for you. Seeing this as a new beginning instead of seeing it as another ending or how things kind of transpired in that same cycle and all that kind of stuff is what's going to help you moving forward. So we have W or R, W or M and R, or another one, W. X, Y or a Q, an S. We also have an N, E, L, I, L, N, S, and an I. Wow. Well, that's kind of crazy. S, S, N, N, I, L, L, and E. I want to say silence. It's not here, but I want to say silence. You should listen to your own inner silence and what that's telling you. When you close your eyes at night and there's nothing kind of taking place around you and it's quiet, What are those things that you're telling yourself? Because I can tell you, when you're in this Knight of Swords energy, you're probably in the most vulnerable state. That's where you need to start writing things down. If you're really wanting to heal past these cycles, that's when you need to start acknowledging your thoughts and addressing those thoughts. That's where the healing needs to take place. That's where in the silence. Yeah. You have opportunities to be very successful here, but until you kind of move past this energy, you're always going to leave yourself vulnerable to that negative space. We have lie here, or lies. So you may have been very hurt by someone that maybe lied to you in some kind of way, or the way that you see it. We have, this could be an ex. I mean, it's right there. I don't really see anything else. I guess I'm going to leave it here. Yep, I'm going to leave it here, guys. I'm going to hold these up so y'all can see them. Could spell something or anything. So, hope this resonates. I hope this helps you guys moving forward. I know this wasn't an easy one. This was a harder one of the three. But I knew it was going to be different. Definitely have this overall heart healing that's going on here, that's transpiring here. Look up the sacral chakra. I think you need some healing there. And the solar plexus chakra, it's been coming out throughout my readings. It came out in pile 2, and I actually put, if you go to pile 2, I put a little thing somewhere in there. If I don't forget, I'll have to put a timestamp, but I put something about those 2 chakras. But look those up, because there's things that need healing in those 2 areas. I think very much so. Maybe possibly even your root chakra, because I think I accidentally said it earlier, and it's kind of coming up as well. So I would look those up. If you're feeling any kind of pains in those areas, then that could also be a reason why. So I'm going to leave you here. We have sins also here in the bowl. Yep, cleansing out those sins, cleansing out those decisions and things that you've made. You need to address them, though. Leaving you here. Okay. I could talk all day about it. So, thanks for being here, guys. Thank you so much for your love and your support and your kindness. Thanks to all my subscribers and all my new subscribers. Thanks to Miss Joy. And, yeah, thanks, guys, so much for all your love and all your support and kindness always. And I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks.